beautiful souls, and welcome. It has been so long since I have done a awakening and wellness live stream that I thought I would pop on and see if I could get YouTube first to work to do a live stream, which I have accomplished. It has been a long time since I've done this, and that part is working. And now here we are. So, Awakening and Wellness. This is a show, a live show that I had done probably back in 2018, 2019. And we would go over topics of awakening. Of course, this is ascension, anything with that whole spiritual awakening path, whether it's abilities, the current energy, questions about awakening. And then wellness, which is more of my Asian medicine practice side. So that's Chinese medicine theory, things about herbal medicine, lifestyle, all of that, and how the two come together, right? As we are awakening, our wellness is also a part of that. And it's a full body, mind, spirit package, right? So, yeah, we'll just do a little check-in here. And I know I just recently did this, speaking of awakening, we'll start there. I just did this 3-Eye Atlas transmission, and that was with the Pleiadians and the Galactic Federation. It has been also a long time since I have channeled with them, so we are coming into some bringing back old things that worked well. And I'm actually going to see if I can get this chat to work real quick here. Let me see. Okay, I think it will work, but I don't know that anybody is live right now. Okay, so coming back to the awakening. Yes, so the 3-Eye Atlas, it's pretty exciting. You know, we are in quite the accelerated ride right now after the eclipses of this year, the fall period of this year, and really entering into a new cycle of energy, a new world, right? And it feels like now we are beginning to get into what 2026 and 2027 are going to be looking like and feeling like. And you know, this is a whole new world that we're coming into, and you could say we are cresting one of the peaks of awakening. Okay, and awakening being, you know, coming into a higher consciousness, becoming more aware of what you are doing in every moment of every day. What are you spending your time doing? Is it aligned with your soul self, with your higher self, with your highest purpose, right? Are you following your soul's purpose? Are you following your soul's guidance? This is, you know, the path of awakening. When you are going through awakening, you shift everything to go into that direction of what is my highest purpose? What is in alignment with my soul? I need to follow that. You know, it activates as a calling, okay? And that's what Akashic Enlightenment is for, which is the primary tool that I was given to teach and to help everybody connect with their higher self. And there are many tools out there. This is just one way. I'd say it's a very accelerated way to go on the awakening path, the awakening journey. I highly recommend it. So you can, of course, access your own Akashic Enlightenment in the Akashic Enlightenment book. That was the first book that I wrote, and that released in, I think that was in 2018 as well. And now I do all these online trainings, these one-on-one trainings, teaching you to open your own Akashic Enlightenment, looking at past lives, your star families, healing core wounds, coming into self-realization. Then we do a series of attunements with the Elohim, and then we get into my most favorite part right now, which is Akashic Enlightenment Level 10, where we start doing one-on-one mentorship. And it's either to be a teacher of being or to be a teacher as practitioner, meaning you are doing one-on-one sessions with people. And you've learned all the little tools and things that I've learned over time to help people awaken in their Akashic enlightenment through you doing sessions with them. So that's levels 1 through 10. Then level 11 and 12 get into the foundations of light and just connecting with pure light frequency. So I'm really excited doing the level 10 sessions right now. I have quite a few people doing that right now. And it is the most profound awakening that I have seen in probably all the work that I do, unless you're very dedicated and you do a series of the personal shamanic Akashic enlightenment sessions, and you go through an accelerated awakening through doing those sessions, and you're continuing to do all the lifestyle changes that are coming in, what I call putting into action what you have learned spiritually. Okay, this is one of the biggest steps of the awakening path, right? We have to acknowledge everything that we have learned on the awakening path, in whether we're studying, reading books, whether we're doing energy attunements, whether we're doing our own shamanic journeys or meditations, or we're doing trainings online, watching videos and lectures, attending conferences. It's one thing to learn all of this, and secondarily, attuning to the energies, I'd say, is an even more powerful way. But ultimately, you have to put it all together and put it into action. And that is what then aligns you with purpose. Okay, and when you are functioning in your purpose, you feel like things are in the right place. There's not that sense of something is off, something is missing, I don't feel at home, all of that. So Akashic Enlightenment is a great tool for the awakening path. And I think most of you on my channel are already on the awakening path. You're probably already familiar with Akashic Enlightenment, but I do strongly encourage going through the training and coming into a place of applying all of your awakened knowledge into this place of action and changing your life and stepping into the new that you have learned about and deeply integrated. Right? We talk about coming into 3D. We start at 3D, coming to 5D, and ultimately coming up to what we call 7D. And this is, where you are becoming a seed of this new light and bringing it into the world. And that is, I'd say, the next phase that we're going into here in 2026, 2027. More and more people are becoming teachers and leaders, and hopefully applying all these deeper understandings of spiritual awakening and consciousness. And as I said in the 3i Atlas channeling, that's really, it's one of the little marker points or tests on our awakening journey that we are on here on Earth. And we're just going to start seeing such rapid changes. And that's the other reason that you really want to be in alignment with what is your path, because then all of these changes that you can see the orbs starting to fly in here on the screen. So if you are in alignment, then when the energy shifts, you get kind of just gently pushed or guided, or just gently going to the next phase, which is either letting go of things that no longer apply to you. That can be on a deeper level, just letting go of those energies and frequencies and ways of dysfunctionally functioning, and coming into a place of functionally functioning with higher consciousness, your higher knowing, a place of responding, not reacting, and a place of purpose. So as the 3i Atlas comes in, it's starting to make that doorway as we go into a new world where we're going to have higher beings coming in, higher interdimensional beings, extraterrestrials, and having them face to face here on Earth. Right? This is going to be a big shift that we're going to go through on our planet. Right? And so another reason that we want higher consciousness applied to that. Right? This is, we're starting to communicate with other civilizations. We want to be in our most present self to be able to have that conversation, and for us to be able to understand the relationship, what's important, what's going on, to be able to receive what we need to learn, and to accelerate with this growth that we are going through. I think the biggest thing, I talked about this in my earlier extraterrestrial trainings that I did. This was in probably 2022, 2023. I did link to all of that in the 3i Atlas. The biggest thing is getting over the biological reaction to getting close to an extraterrestrial, right? Even if they come in and they are what I call cloaked, right? They're in a different dimensional frame of light or frequency, meaning you can feel that they're right there. This is where being psychic or clairvoyant, it's like sensing a spirit, but it's an extraterrestrial. And because it's an extraterrestrial, the biology has a reaction to this. And that biological reaction can then take you into fear, right? And it kind of shuts down and withdraws the connection or the interaction going on with extraterrestrials. So it's important to kind of get that out of your system, so you are comfortable with a being that is not on our planet actually being in front of you three-dimensionally, right? Our system is not used to something like that, right? We are the only humanoids on the planet that most interact with, right? I know some are already interacting with extraterrestrials on a very personal, maybe intimate level, one-on-one. You have a relationship with a star family. Maybe you're being visited in person already, right? But if it's totally new to you, you need to get over that biological reaction to another form of life that's not from Earth being in front of you, right? And so that's actually what we practice when we go to Mount Shasta, and I do the ET contact, all of those sessions. I have all the replays of that. That's also linked in the 3i Atlas. If you just click on that, it's part of all the ET contact sessions that I've done, and it just helps you get more comfortable with connecting with extraterrestrials as I go through the process. Like when we're in Mount Shasta, we open up the space, we play some tones, connection tones, and the extraterrestrials come in, and you just get this sense of other beings being there, or the ships flying in above, and getting used to other creatures being in your energy field, in your space, and getting used to the telepathic communication that can occur. Sometimes you hear a clicking sound when they communicate with you. I've had that happen during transmissions, as well as when we're in Mount Shasta. And I'm trying to think of some of the other things. We've seen orbs of light fly by. I just listened to one of the Stephen Greer videos, and he was talking about how their group was seeing these orbs of light. And it's different than like on here a little while ago, I had a little orb come by. We only see those on the camera, usually, those types of orbs. But the orbs that are extraterrestrial, they're three-dimensional, and meaning that it's in front of you with your naked eye. You don't need a camera to see it. And I saw one of those, I think on one of maybe my third trip to Mount Shasta. It was this bright orange orb glowing, and it just right through the sky really fast. Actually, it was pretty low. It's at the tree line, right? And I think we were playing the Stephen Greer contact tones at that time, and yeah, that was a pretty visceral experience when you see it right in front of you, right? Very close proximity to where you are. So that's a good introduction, right? Those types of experiences, so that you are more familiar with what it's like to have I want to say interdimensional beings, because when it's an orb of light, you're not really thinking, oh, that's an extraterrestrial. Where are the eyes? Where are the arms? I just see an orb of light, okay? And that's where your inner senses and your higher senses need to come in, meaning that clairvoyantly you understand who this is and why they're here, how they're communicating to you, because all of your higher senses are open, your higher consciousness, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, and you understand the communication going on. And that whole process is part of awakening, right? That awakens you so much that it'll change the whole planet, right? It's like, oh, wow, there's other life, and I'm seeing it right in front of me. That's amazing, It's either from another planet or another dimension, right? Meaning that it is already part of Earth and it's in a different dimensional field and energy, right? So that's probably a whole conversation on its own over there. Okay, but we're focusing on awakening and wellness, kind of focusing more on awakening and of course extraterrestrials right now, because I just did that channeled post from the Pleiadians and Galactic Federation around Three Eye Atlas. All right. Well, I see a few of you have joined. Welcome. I do think I'm coming to the close of this live first session of Awakening and Wellness. So do tune in. I'll probably do this again next Friday, okay, in the later afternoon. Let's see, what time is it now? So I started at 4 o'clock today. Maybe we'll start at 3:30 or 4 next week. And you can come in and we will, I can answer some of your questions if you have questions. And yeah, I don't know that I'll be doing any live readings per se. Maybe running some Aqualorian crystal night healing. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And I was just going to check here on the calendar for next week. Oh, next week's Halloween. That would be really fun. Yeah, so yeah, just go ahead and see if you can join on October 31st here at around 3:30 or 4, and we'll go live and we'll see what topic of inspiration comes in and or answer your questions. All right, so thank you for joining for Awakening and Wellness with me, Sherry Mosley, and keep on your practice of following your path and your purpose and enjoying the journey. All right, and we'll say goodbye for now, and I will see you next time. So lots of love and light, and we'll just say goodbye.